Hey guys, it's Kelly and welcome back to my channel. Today I am sitting down to talk about a topic I'm super excited to cover, and that is related to teen drivers, but more specifically, how to take that hand-me-down car and make it ready for your teen. And thank you so much to Napa Auto Parts for sponsoring today's video. Okay, let's get into it. So you have a car that maybe it's yours, maybe it's your grandma's, it's your aunt's. You have an old vehicle that you're hoping to pass down to your teen. Obviously, you want to make that car as safe and reliable as possible, and there's quite a few things you can do to make the car and your teen safer before they hit the road. First things first, I think it's so important to maybe not save the car for the teen's 16th birthday, and instead let them start practicing with that vehicle before they get their license. It is so crucial to make sure they understand how that vehicle operates. If they spend their entire time having their permit on a different vehicle and then on their 16th birthday, you present them with this new to them Toyota Camry, it could be a little difficult for them. So if you can, get them in the vehicle before they turn 16, drive with them as much as possible so they can really practice. Next, I highly recommend getting that car a little spruced up, a little bit of a makeover, if you will, and take it to get a professional detail. That will make the car feel newer to the teen and hopefully instill a sense of ownership to them. Now this is your car, it's clean, you're responsible for keeping it this way. Kind of going along with that tip, I also highly recommend getting your teen a car wash subscription. I think that taking care of your car is such a valuable life lesson for these kids to learn, and like I always say, clean cars drive better. Now, before you pass on that hand-me-down car, I think it's really important to look at the vehicle and ensure it comes with the basics, such as an owner's manual and 2 sets of keys. If this is an older vehicle that maybe has been passed down through a few people or you bought it pre-owned, I highly suggest making sure that your teen has the owner's manual to their vehicle. If somewhere across the length of this vehicle's life the owner's manual got lost, I would try to track down the owner's manual. You can do this by either calling the dealership and asking if they have one that you can purchase, or some owner's manuals are even online. I think it's crucial for your teen to have this on hand just in case anything goes wrong with their car. They have their owner's manual printed out. Another thing is make sure you have 2 sets of keys. There is nothing that's going to be more stressful than a teen who loses their keys. So make sure you have 2 sets of keys, one for them and probably one for you. On top of that, make sure you get an Apple AirTag or tile key and attach it to the teen's key. Keys are expensive and it is not going to be something that you want to lose or have to pay for. Another thing I would consider buying for the vehicle is all-weather floor mats. These are key to making the vehicle look cleaner, feel newer, and ultimately last longer. And then obviously before your teen gets behind the wheel of this hand-me-down car, you're going to want to make sure you take it to get an inspection, just so you can know if there's any major mechanical problems with the vehicle. But I would suggest making sure your teen is really involved in this process. I think it'd be helpful for them to actually go through the steps of taking it to a mechanic shop, hearing what they have to say, looking at their report, and kind of forecasting if any major repairs are going to happen in the future, and hopefully helping them budget to pay for it. If you don't have a trusted mechanic, I highly suggest Napa Auto Care Centers. They're all over the country, and they make it so easy to find a trusted mechanic near you. If during your inspection you find out that things need to be replaced, I think it's really important to make sure your teen makes note of when things were done. For example, let's say that hand-me-down car needs new tires. So you end up replacing the tires on the vehicle. Make sure you have that teen write down somewhere, hey, your tires were replaced at this many miles, and then make sure they know what the next steps are to maintain the life of those tires, such as when's the next time they need to be rotated? Do they need to be changed out before the snow comes? Or anything like that. Now, even if your teen feels confident driving behind the wheel, don't forget to spend some time teaching them some basic car care maintenance. Now, I'm not saying they have to know how to change their own oil, but just simple things like knowing what to look for can really go a long way. It's important they know what the different lights on the dash mean and how to handle them if they can. For example, a low tire pressure light, or maybe your wiper fluid needs to be refilled. These are 2 very easy things that your teen can do to make sure their car is safer and runs better. Also, this sounds crazy, but don't forget to teach them how to properly pump gas. If you've never done it before, this can be a little intimidating, so make sure you take them through every process of ownership, no matter how small. Things like pumping gas, paying for meters, going through tolls, anything that they might encounter on the road. I think it would even be helpful to make them like a little mini cheat sheet or their own kind of owner's manual. Basically print out what the different lights on the dash would mean and what to do if a corresponding light comes on. Kind of going off this, make sure you prepare them for any real world scenarios, like getting in an accident or getting pulled over. It's important to make sure your teen knows what to do, what to ask, and what information is going to be important. And then finally, I would look into adding some aftermarket safety features to make the car a little bit safer and kind of mimic some of the newer technology we're seeing. Did you know that according to IIHS, the crash rate for teens is about 4 times as high compared to other age groups. So any sort of crash prevention technology we can add to these cars is important. A very easy and simple one is the backup camera. This is easy and most of the time inexpensive to install on your teen's car. If you don't know where to start when it comes to looking for aftermarket products, that's where Napa Auto Parts really comes in handy. You can shop online or head in stores to see a great list of features that they offer. So anyway, those are my top tips for how to take that hand-me-down car and give it a teen makeover and keep your teen safe. Let me know in the comments below some tips that you have shared with your teen to keep them safer on the road. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.